This is the Four-Man Rush. Hello, Panther fans, and welcome to another podcast of the Four-Man Rush. I'm your host, Timmy VO, here with the entire Four-Man Rush crew, Kevin, Monty, Larry, and Will. And we're here to talk about that W that we dropped on Arizona. Yeah, buddy. It feels good, Panther Nation. I know you guys are excited about Kyle Allen, and that offense was really clicking. Norv was calling some great stuff, but that defense on top of that, oh my dear God. Big respect to the little man with the football for the Arizona Cardinals. That son of a gun is something. Not only can that kid run, man, he can toss that rock, fellas. Hey, woo, Lord Jesus. But yeah, that's all right. We snatched him up and we got him out of there. That's right. 1-2. And, of course, we want to talk about that in more detail. We've seen a lot, some mostly good, still some bad out there. There's some improvements that can be made. But, yeah, we're going to talk about that, recap on the Cardinals game, and we'll talk about the upcoming Texans game, which will be a test. Their defense is better than Arizona's, and that their quarterback, well, I don't know. Kyle Murray can fly, but so can Mr. Watson. But anyway, so we'll start with the Arizona Cardinals Panthers recap, and we'll just go off each other, and we'll see how we can drop some knowledge on the Panther Nation out there. So we'll start with let's start with Will, and then we'll bounce over to Larry and Kevin and Monty. Okay. So, Will, recap Arizona Cardinals, man. What'd you see, man? Good and bad. What'd you see?
Well, it's good to come out of here with a win finally. I mean, yeah, it's just the Cardinals. They had the first pick in the draft last year. They're kind of a rebuilding team, but it's the NFL. As we learned last year, it's not easy to win in this league. So take them out, you can get them. We need about 10 or 11 of these to try to win the division or at minimum get a wild card spot. So that's just one step closer to our ultimate goal. As far as what I saw on the field, I thought Norv Turner had a nice balanced offensive attack. Started with the run game. I thought McCaffrey, not only that 75-yard run, but I thought he was running hard in between the tackles, getting those 3-4-yard gains, and setting Kyle Allen up for second and third and manageable type situations. You want to make it easy on your young and inexperienced quarterback as possible. And then Kyle Allen just came out lights out and did what he was supposed to do. He read coverage as well. Found the matchups he liked. I mean, Greg Olsen, Father Time was whooping up on Greg Olsen, but he came back in these championship rounds, started fighting back. He said he's not ready to go. He's still a top tight end in this league.
That's
so
right.
You got a guy like Olsen that can, in zone coverage, you can't defend him because he knows where to settle in and find that soft area. You can't defend him in man coverage. He's too fast for a safety, too big for a safety, too fast for a linebacker. So he just, he's having his way with these guys. And then, of course, DJ and Curtis contributed as well. So I just thought it was a good all-around performance from the offense this week. As far as defense, they got off to a sluggish start, but that's understandable. You're coming out with this hurry-up, fast-paced offense, spreading you out, mobile quarterback. This took them a while to adjust, but once they finally got in rhythm, man, they looked like what we expected to see this whole offseason. I like how Ron Rivera mixed it up. He had packages with like one defensive tackle, whether it would be Poe, McCoy, or Love, and put 3 edge rushers in there with them trying to create pass rush matchups. And they got after Kyler Murray a bit. And then, of course, you got Dante Jackson, James Bradbury. I thought the secondary played very well. And one more thing I thought was interesting was we played nickel on 100% of the snaps. So Ross Cockrell, coming off that serious leg injury last year, played every single snap and gave us a big boost at the nickel position. So overall, just a good team effort. I thought we finally put it together and saw the team that we expected to see all summer.
Right on, man. Larry.
Well, I'll do the same as well. Start off with the offense. Pretty much the same point. Love how they spread the ball around. Kyle Allen really proved me wrong, and that's all I really ever asked for him, is just show me that you can do it. And I'm a believer now. Even though it was just Arizona, it's still the NFL. Still got to make plays. One biggest thing that I noticed is, the struggles that Darrell Williams had last week, they kind of led into this week, which eventually led to Ron making a change to the left tackle spot and putting Greg Little in there. And he kind of solidified things at that spot for the second half. So looking forward, that's a big question mark. Is he, I think he's going to be keyed in as a starter, but everybody wants to know where that leaves Darrell Williams at. And I don't think you can just say kick him in the guard because Van Roten has been playing pretty well. But offensively, you guys saw it all. Kyle spread the ball, I think, to 7 different receivers.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what we've been looking for the past 2 years under under Norv. Just move the ball around and move the change, and we did that. And you really saw a lot of growth for the young guys. With Burns still playing at a high level. Haynes got his reps, but he took some L's when it came to that read option. He failed to sustain the edge and contain Murray. But Miller really surprised me. He really dipped into a Bada stat, and it looks like he's going to dip into some of Haynes' snaps because he was very effective when called upon to the point where he had 2 sacks. And that was second for the team because I think Mario had 3 sacks. But collectively to have, 8 sacks, that's what I've been asking for since the start of the season, man. I want to have a 70-sack season. The way you win in this league is you put pressure on the quarterback, and we did a great job of that. No one will probably notice it, but Gerald McCoy is everything we ever needed in the DT. He's pretty much the most consistent, most effective defensive lineman we have. Consistently creating a push, consistently putting pressure, very, very strong when he's the point of attack in the run game. He doesn't give up much ground. I'm very impressed with him because everybody said he was old and washed, but he's clearly not. Very effective. And everybody knows Dante Jackson was my favorite player in this draft class. And, you can rag on him all you want. Oh, he missed a tackle. He missed 3 or 4 tackles, like what Monty would say. But at the end of the day, I'll take that if you're going to have the impact plays that he made. He showed why he was picked in the second round. The first pick gave us great field position. And then the second one was like a game changer. It closed the game out. And if you look at that vertical, you're just in awe. So. Wow. Overall, man, I just love the impact plays. I love the sacks, and I love the ability that I love the fact that we created great opportunities as far as turnovers go. And that's something that I want to see every single week.
Kevin, what you think, man?
Well, from my perspective here, what I enjoyed was just seeing the energy and the effort for the team in all 3 phases. When you look around and just think about the play of the Panthers from the first quarter to the end of the game, I felt like that the team played with a lot of consistency. They played with a lot of energy, and they was getting after it. I felt like defensively, Ross Cockrell set the tone. He was out knocking heads early in that first defensive series. I feel like that he brought an energy to the team that just kind of took over and spread it around. I know one time I believe he had a penalty, if I'm not mistaken, or something, but anyway, I felt like he brought a lot of energy to the not only the defense but to the team as well with his play, especially with him playing all the snaps. I saw him lined up at corner, saw him lined up at safety. So it was good to see him finally getting his chance to show why he was one of Hurney's best, I guess, underrated free agent signings from last year. And of course, he sat out because of the broken leg. But it was good to see Ross Cockrell show his value to the Panthers defense finally. From an offensive side of point, not to regurgitate what's already been said, I really was impressed with the run blocking schemes and efforts that I saw. We saw a lot more 22 personnel with 2 tight ends, 2 backs, some more 21 personnel, 2 tight ends, 2 backs, 1 tight end. I like the fact that with the run design that was on display, it really showed that the Panthers really have a versatility that when executed, we're going to be a headache for teams to defend. I know we see a lot of, single back, shotgun, 1 back with McCaffrey, but we want to mix it up and we want to, put some muscles on. We can do that as well. That run by McCaffrey was a thing of beauty. Not the run, it's not just the run itself, but just the design of that run. I mean, you had Van Roten on a pull block from his left guard spot. Manhurts getting to the second level, taking out not 1, but 2 players. Mm-hmm. My boy Alex Armour, getting a kick out on the outside linebacker. and Taylor Moton just absolutely crashing down his side of the line to provide the open hole for McCaffrey. So just from an execution point of view and an energy and effort point of view, I was really overall pleased with what I saw from the team. The fact that even though we scored as many points as we did, believe it or not, we actually lost the time of possession. Believe it or not, it was 31 minutes, 44 seconds for Arizona and 28 minutes, 16 seconds for us. So when you think about that, it's like, wow, they had the ball longer? Yeah, they did. They ran 73 plays, but they only mustered up 127 yards passing. So we pretty much limited that 10 personnel package to pretty much check downs and a few long shots here and there. So overall, I just like the effort and the execution that I saw from the team. Yeah, there's definitely areas of improvement. I saw Trey Boston doing his customary head dive on a miss, and there was a blown coverage that could have changed the momentum back to Arizona's way that we avoided. But overall, I like the energy and the effort.
Right on, man. Right on. And Monty.
What's going on, man?
Drop knowledge, Monty.
I don't want to sound like a broken record again, like what the fella said, because I think I'm just gonna fall right in line with everybody else. I was very pleased what I saw from both sides of the ball, offense and defensively, Sunday. I think we came into Sunday with a lot of questions at the quarterback position and a lot of questions and a lot of expectations of what this team will look like under Kyle Allen and, just how this team will respond under adversity early. And I think that that's the biggest thing that I took out of when we went after the game Sunday beating Arizona was this team is built to take a punch and punch back, and that's something I really love to see the most. And like what the fellow said earlier, offensively, this is what we expected to see under a Norv Turner's offense. With the healthy Cam Newton, we saw glimpses of it last year, but Sunday is what we really saw a full 4 quarters of Carolina football, and I'll say on the defensive side, we kicked it in a little later in the game. I feel like our second half adjustments on the defensive side of the ball was a lot better third and fourth quarter than it was the first and second quarter. But, I feel like we still put together a very, very amazing 4 quarters. I'm just going to flat out and say it on both sides of the ball. That's something that all Panther fans should be proud of, from how effective Kyle Allen was from the pocket, seeing how clean he was, behind that offensive line, especially after the first 2 games where it looked like we didn't know what to expect from that offensive line, and to see Kyle Allen, have so much time and be protected as long as he was behind the offensive line. It was a sight to see. I loved it. We got the ball out. Everybody, it seemed like, scored. We so often forget about how dangerous Greg Olsen is, but in this offense, you see DJ Moore can beat you deep. Curtis Samuel can beat you deep. Christian McCaffrey can beat you running up the gut, and then that leaves Greg Olsen, the old man, in one-on-one coverage all game, and you see when he's healthy, Greg Olsen is going to beat you in one-on-one coverage all game. So and it felt good, like you said, Tim. At the top of the show, it felt good just to get a win again and to have that old Carolina football feel again. That's what I got on Sunday. Defensively, I love what I saw. Brian Burns has lived up to the hype for that first round hype from every bit of it. Every bit of it. And we were talking before the show, fellas, about how if not for Kyler Murray just being a freak athlete, that 8 sack total goes to 11, 12, 13 even, because Brian Burns would have had 3 himself just off of him being a freak athlete alone. Then when you include other guys like Christian Miller, who came in and surprised everybody, then Mario Addison, Old Faithful, who doesn't get enough recognition in the league, I still say that doesn't get the respect he deserves as a pass rusher. And then when you add that on top of one of the best secondaries in the NFL, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, we have one of the better secondaries in the NFL. 8 sacks, 2 interceptions, 10 quarterback pressures. That's what you get. And I say that to say now we're in trouble defensively because now we know what to expect now. So now us coming up short, and I feel like expecting 8 sacks a game is a little much, but we now know what to expect out of this defense. We now have seen it that we can play elite ball when we want to. So now we just got to go out there and do it and execute. And I think that's been the biggest thing that all Panther fans agree is us executing is our biggest problem. But we saw it. And moving forward, if we can get more games like that, our schedule's a lot favorable for us in these next couple games. If we can get on a run and get rhythm like we saw Sunday, fellas, we got a very dangerous squad. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, I'm excited to see how this team is going to look going forward, man. I was very pleased with the win on Sunday, and fellas, we got a dangerous squad.
We do, and I'm just going to err on the side of caution. I'm still not sold on the left tackle position. And I know we were transitioning, Little and Williams in and out. I'm still not sold on that. I think that scares me just a little bit because that one time Williams got beat. That guy caught Kyle Allen in almost an awkward situation when he's trying to get that ball up and get it and release that ball out of there. And that could have been an ugly arm or shoulder injury. So that really pissed me off. But anyway, yeah, I'm just erring on the side of caution with that. But man, this defense, we've been talking about that defense, since camp, right? So, but like you guys said, man, it is a sight for sore eyes to see that type of defense, aggressive, getting after it, and just applying pressure on the quarterback like that. That's a thing of beauty. My man Kyle Allen, I've been singing his praise since last season. That boy right there, I didn't think he was going to play like that. Now, I knew he could sit in the pocket, and I know he could toss that rock. But when he got out of the pocket, was getting chased by 2 defenders, and he put that thing on Samuel like that, where only he could get it. Oh my God, what the hell, man? Any of you guys want to talk about Allen's throwing capabilities and what you guys see, and in terms of his prowess, man? I mean, what do you guys think about Kyle and his throwing capabilities?
Well, I think it just showed what this offense can look like when you just have a healthy quarterback, running it. Because I don't think it was anything fancy we were doing or anything, that's out of the norm. It was pretty much simple one-read plays. If the safety does this, throw it here. If you get this matchup, throw it here. And he's just kind of, he's basically extension of Norv Turner on the field, going through his progressions, making the right read and getting the ball to his playmakers. And when he delivered the ball, it was on target. The pass protection helped. Greg Little came in and played well in minimal snaps, rotating with Darrell Williams. So we'll see how that plays out. But, I just think Kyle Allen, just did what he was supposed to do. He did what you want to see from your backup quarterback. Just step up, make good decisions, get the ball to your playmakers, and let them do the work. When you have guys like Greg Olsen, Moore, Samuel, and McCaffrey around you that can make plays with the ball in their hands, it just makes your job that much easier.
True that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Tim. Going off of what Will just said, yeah, I think that in this system is fit for where you're playing, where you're just going to the best matchup on the field. And I think with the weapons that we have here, I saw something the other day where Baldy had commented on Kyle's performance, and he even made a comment that said Kyle Allen's making the game look a lot easier than what the game really is, and it was so true. In this system, Norv has he really schemed guys open all game, and schemed guys for favorable matchups all game, and that's what we've been looking forward to since him coming here. And we've. You look across the league, especially with a lot of these young offensive coordinators, and they do a great job of getting guys open. And we look back over the first 2 games, you're like, gosh, that's what we need, that's what we want. This is what we got on Sunday, and Kyle Allen did an amazing job of if my first read's not there, I know what my second read's going to be, and if my second read's not there, I know I can dump it off to Christian McCaffrey, and I think knowing and listening to his presser today, what he made it a point of saying, go into the game with a plan, let Gus go to the offensive line with a plan. That type of preparation there, I think, speaks volumes of how good Kyle Allen can actually be if given the opportunity. I'm not ready to go and say he's going to be the next Tom Brady like some other Panther fans I may know are saying. But I think that in this system, with the weapons put around him, Kyle Allen can look like a stud, man, and he showed it. He has great arm strength, great accuracy. Didn't fold under pressure. He definitely is stepping into a lot of throws that even with pressure in front of him, he just stepped into him and delivered dimes downfield. So I'm excited to see what we get out of Kyle Allen. I would like to see what he do against a little better defense. Houston definitely has a better defense in Arizona, so I got to see it against better opposition, but man, he's definitely left a lot on the field to be excited about.
Kevin, Larry, you have anything to say about Mr. Allen?
Yeah, as far as with Mr. Allen, this was just something that I had access to seeing by going to all the training camp practices this year and even last year. He's just someone that has a nice touch on the ball, and he just seems like someone that's very cerebral as far as, not letting the moment be too big for him. And I like the fact that he just pretty much was able to display that on a big stage, because once it was made known that Cam Newton wasn't going to play, all eyes is definitely looking to see what was going on. But he really came out and really displayed the fact that not only the physical tools, but the mental and emotional tools as well. The guys, they seemed like they didn't flinch when it was announced that Kyle Allen was coming in. And from all the comments that they said, you could tell that it wasn't just, saying nice things because his teammate, but actually meant it. And the things that they were saying pregame about him, he showed on the field. Calm, cool, decisive, and someone that's full of confidence in himself. So it was just good to see that what was said about him before the game, he actually displayed, and it turned out to be true, and it helped lead to a great win.
Larry, did you have anything?
Well, I heard an interview from Shaq. The way the defense prepared, they prepared just like Cam was starting. They have complete confidence in Mr. Kyle Allen, so it's only respectful. We all do too. I know people say, "Oh, it's only Arizona." You can't expect him to throw 4 touchdowns every game, but the fact that he's showing you in 2 games, he has the ability to be solid and give us a chance to win. That's all we can ask for. Monty brought it up earlier. He showed us what he could do even last season in the last game where he was moving the ball with the first stringers against New Orleans. So we should have the confidence knowing that, we can go into a game and we have a quarterback that can at least get the job done. He's slightly better than what Derek Anderson was able to do for us. So I have 100% confidence. I know he may take some lumps and take some L's, but at the end of the day, he still gives us a big chance to win football games, especially if the defense plays at a high level the way it does.
Indeed, man. It's nice to know that we have the offense in good hands. From what I'm seeing, even if it's going to be extremely hard, in my opinion, and I know you guys feel the same way for the most part. It's going to be extremely difficult for a defensive coordinator to focus on one aspect of that offense when you have a quarterback that can deliver the ball like that. That's going to be it's almost as hard as planning for Cam to run with the football in the the read option type of style. When you have a Kyle Allen that can deliver the football accurately and on target, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, Tim, and I love what Lawrence has said about Derek Anderson, because we haven't had a quarterback or a backup quarterback that we all fully trusted like that since Derek Anderson has left.
Absolutely.
And and I think that was where a lot of the reluctance for giving Kyle Allen the keys to the car and say, go out there and play, because we just haven't had that quarterback that we fully and honestly trusted with the game. Game on the line, we knew when Derek Anderson was healthy, that Derek Anderson can go out there and win you a game if need be. And we haven't had that kind of insurance with any of the backup quarterbacks that we've seen so far. And then insert Cam getting injured. That even put a lot more stress on not only Panther fans, but us as a franchise to go out there and go get a quarterback. So, so Kyle Allen came in at the perfect time now. And I feel like he calmed a lot of fans and even within the team, he calmed a lot of that down because like Lauren said, he's better. I'm going to say he said slightly better. I'm going to say he's significantly better than Derek Anderson than what we had him at the time he was here. Yeah. So I think Kyle Allen he's in a good position right now to where he can make some noise, man.
I agree, man.
I'm happy with what I saw from Kyle Allen, but let's all be honest. This offense without Cam Newton will go as far as Christian McCaffrey takes us.
Amen.
And I think it all starts with establishing that ground game, letting McCaffrey, get up, get those 3-4 yards, and then you saw they load the box. But what happens? You load the box to stop the run, but how happens if you block it properly? And the running back's able to get to that second and third level. Now he's one-on-one with a safety, and that's where you're never supposed to lose. Let a defensive back tackle you one-on-one. So McCaffrey makes a miss, gets into the open field, and he's off to the races. We haven't even seen the ways that you can use him as a receiver either. So if we can just keep getting – if Allen can make defenses respect that pass game, it's just going to open things for CMC that much more. So I just think the offense just has to continue to run through McCaffrey, and all these guys can just continue to feed off each other as we go through this year.
Absolutely, man.
If I can add one more point, man. Everybody's doubted Christian McCaffrey, saying that, you need Cam in there to supplement the run game. You got to supplement the run game. Got to carry some armor.
Get him.
That really just showed that, no, we don't. Kyle Allen is not a big run threat, and Christian McCaffrey carried the load by himself. So that should shut up a lot of critics as well. I just wanted to add that point in there.
This is a great damn point, too. That's a great point.
And let me just be the one to be a little bit of the devil's advocate here.
Uh-oh.
Now, don't get me wrong. Great team win. I like it. But let's also keep in mind this was the 31st ranked defense that we just faced. And I am one that believes that who you play does matter. Now, I'm not one of these fans that's wanting to piss on the game because Cam didn't play because, we've seen fans want to be this crazy Cam versus Kyle crap we've been seeing in all the Panthers books, which I need for y'all to grow up and cut that BS out. But, it is what it is. People want to express how they feel. I just want to see this done not only because, you play who's on your schedule, first of all, right. And we're not going to get back any wins because it was Arizona. But as we look forward on the schedule, we got a Romeo Crennel defense. And everybody knows Romeo Crennel is a defensive mastermind. Mm-hmm. And, that's going to be another, as they say, litmus test to see where things at. There's an all-world player called J.J. Watt who's kind of coming off on a strong season so far, coming up, 2 sacks, 6 quarterback hits, 7 tackles. He's still the guy. And with Trey Turner, possibly, with the groin, not knowing if he's going to be full and healthy ready for the game, we just got to see what happens when adversity comes. What does Kyle Allen do when things don't go the way that they should do? It's good to have a group of players around with the talent they've got that helps, but the same way that, things were put in a microscopic lens for Cam Newton when things can go right, we need to also have that same lens when that does happen, because it's going to happen. Like we said, we're not just sitting here expecting Kyle Allen to always throw for 140-something passer rating. Unless he just goes on something unprecedented, in the NFL. So I just want to enjoy the win, but also not put all the eggs in the basket for Kyle Allen at this time. We got the win that we needed. We're 1-2, and we're on to Houston, and we're going from there. So. Just kind of want to keep things on an even keel because we already hearing people talking about the new franchise quarterback is now here and trade Cam so we can save the $19 million on the salary cap and all this. Personally, I want Cam to take as much time he need to come back need to get healthy, come back, and shut all this shit down. Excuse my language, but that's how I feel, and I feel like it need to be. If you said that would be best case scenario for me, is for Kyle to keep the thing going. Cam comes back healthy, and that's just my own personal, spin on it. Just to throw it out there, because it is some fans out there that think like that. So I just want to make sure that we, represent all the sides of logic here.
I got a little comment about Romeo Cornell. If you ain't watched that last game that he had, he jumped into a prevent coverage at the last time that you ever want to do that, and he got burned for it. So, not saying he's not a good coordinator, but he's getting a little bit long in the tooth, and he's susceptible to making mistakes. Let's just hope this Panther team can take advantage of those.
And like Will said, man, we established a run. That play action is deadly, absolutely deadly. And they tried to load the box on us a couple of times, man. And Olsen released on that play action and that shallow cross. Well, actually, he keeps getting depth as he goes across the field. But yeah, Houston's gonna have a hard time. They had a hard time with Kamara, if I'm not mistaken.
And Tim, one more thing before we move on to the preview for Houston.
Yeah, you
also got to look at this. There's not a lot of tape on Kyle Allen, so we got to use that to our advantage,
True that.
There's not a lot of tape out there on them. Defenses still don't know how to prepare for him. They're going to try to do some things, but it's still so much to be seen. So I just hope that North can take advantage of that. They don't have a lot of tape out on the guy. So how do you prepare for him?
And plus, look at the different dimensions we have in our offense. When you prepare for the Panthers, you're used to thinking, read option is going to be a big piece of the offense, and then all the branches off the read option with the misdirection and reverses. Against Arizona, it was just more of a traditional offense, power running game, play action passes, drop back passes. So it was more of that traditional Norv Turner offense that you're used to seeing. So that's another thing I think you're not used to seeing this. When you think Carolina Panthers offense with Cam Newton being a big part of the run game, you're not going to be seeing that like you have on film from prior years.
I mean, they got almost a decade of film on Cam. They got 2 games on Kyle. 2 games. And those 2 games, he got, 6 touchdowns and almost scratching 600 yards passing? Yeah. They're going to bring pressure. I mean, that's they're going to have to. They're going to have to bring pressure. But, North Turner, that dude's playing chess on top of chess. Anyway, speaking of which, let's get into this Texans game. Now, I watched the Texans week 1 when they played the Saints. And, gosh, that Watson kid got hot. He's a problem. So Kevin, we'll start with you. What do you think is one of the best angles to take against Houston to win this game?
From what I've started looking at this upcoming game, and haven't done a whole lot because I've still been enjoying looking over the game from Sunday, but we got to press forward. But just what I've noticed so far, I noticed that there will be again opportunities from us. For example, when we had the ball on offense, outside of J.J. Watt on the defensive line, who still, even though he's been slowed down by some serious injuries last few years, is still very much a threat, someone capable of taking over a game at any time. As I stated, his numbers before, I mean, he's definitely, someone that's definitely got to be accounted for. And until we know the status of Trey Turner, who had pretty good success against him last time they played in 2015, that will be something to definitely, look out for. But overall, there's really no one on the Houston defense that scares me to the point to where I'm really nervous. I think Kyle Allen will have the opportunity to make plays in the passing game, and I could definitely see McCaffrey having his opportunities in the run game. That's something that I could see a possible another 400 total yards of offense being put on display. They just faced a very good Chargers team this past Sunday that they managed to come back and get a win from. So, that's something that they got some momentum coming into this game back home. And for those of y'all that don't remember, the last time the Panthers played in Houston, that was 2011, Cam's rookie year. We scored off a very famous Fumbarooski play former Titan fullback Richie Brocco. Cam faked like he was running the option with Steve Smith one way, and Rocco got the ball and ran it into the end zone, and it was kind of like the big highlight play of the day. So that's showing how long it's been since last time the Panthers was in Houston. Wow. Was Cam's rookie year. But I think that there's opportunities for us to put on another good show, but as the player stated, they got to have another good week of practice and just got to come out and execute. But I think this definitely is a winnable game for the Panthers with Cal Allen at quarterback.
Larry, how do you feel about this Texans game, man? What do we need to do?
I might sound like a broken radio, but it comes down to the trenches. We got some concerns at left tackle. Let's see what we can do to address those. J.J. Watt is always a threat, and hopefully guys can be healthy. I know Trey Turner's dealing with a little bit of an injury there, but that's what it's going to come down to. I know they have great receivers, with Hopkins, Fuller, and they added Kenny Stills, but I have that much confidence in our DBs, man. I think Bradbury can do a great job on pretty much the best receiver in football. If he ain't going to stop them all together, he'll at least limit his opportunities. And I look for Dante to have some more game-changing moments. Watson likes to scramble, take chances, throw the ball downfield. That is what Dante loves. Go ahead and take those chances if you want to. Also, the Texans still have one of the worst offensive lines in football. And we've shown that we can be the best D-line in football. I predicted 70 sacks this season, and we gave us a good effort on against Arizona and got 8 of them. One of my biggest games, keyed in on was the Arizona game, this Houston game, and the Falcons game. I think this is an opportunity for us to have another big sack game. If all honesty, if you want me to be honest with you, I want at least 5. So we can put pressure on Watson. It's really that simple for us. I'm not even worried about Kyle Allen in the offense. It's actually disrupting Deshaun Watson. If we can do that, we'll get ourselves a W.
Monty.
Yeah, fellas. I think that this is going to be a game to really see what we have at the quarterback position, and to really see what we are as a team. I think that Deshaun Watson is a stud, and I think he doesn't get the recognition he deserves as well, because he is a young up-and-coming star at the quarterback position as well. And I think that as a offense, they can be deadly when they get into a rhythm. And I think this is going to be a good test for our defense to see if we can, like Lauren said, we have a great favorable matchup against that offensive line. I would like to see if we can get consistency with that defensive line, and if we can consistently get after quarterback and build off of week 3's performance. So I like our matchups defensively versus their offense. Our offense versus their defense. I think that we have a chance to put up big numbers again. But it's going to all start up front. I think that's where our offense is going to rely on is that offensive line, and Christian McCaffrey, like Will said, it's going to be as far as CMC carries us. And I think we saw how we game planned against Aaron Donald in week 1. So I think we can do a great job of game planning against J.J. Watt here this week. But we just have to see it up front. I would like to see if we go with Greg Little at left tackle to start the game. I think that was a huge improvement up front on that offensive line that really helped. I would like to see, and again, like I said, I would just like to see us build from week 3 to week 4, and let's see what this offensive defense is going to look like. I think the Houston Texans, it's a 2-man race in my opinion in that division between them and the Colts, and I think that if Houston could actually protect Watson, they would have a pretty decent squad. So it's going to be a good battle. So I like our chances in this week's battle, but I also think it could be a trap game for us.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Will?
Well, I think the Texans are a good football team. I don't think statistically shows what the talent they have on defense. I think it's one of the better defensive fronts in football right now, even though they lack the big names. And even with the loss of Jadeveon Clowney, you have J.J. Watt, who's probably a top 3 to 5 interior lineman in the game today. DJ Reader at nose tackle is an animal. Matt Paradis will have his hands full. If you just want to go off Pro Football Focus, just to give you a quick reference, since you can't really watch film on the podcast, DJ Reader's a 90 graded, one of the highest graded nose tackles in this league right now.
Wow.
So he's out there balling right now. So you got J.J. Watt and DJ Reader up front. It's going to present a lot of problems for our offensive line. You have Whitney Marcellus at linebacker, another great player who can get pressure on the quarterback. And just to give you an example, in their last game this past weekend, Watt and Marcellus combined had 3 sacks, 5 quarterback hits, and a forced fumble. So, I mean, they're not the biggest names, but it's probably one of the better defensive fronts we'll see in the league in our schedule this year. I think coming into the league, I think Pro Football Focus had the Texans as the second best defense in the league with Clowney. But now that they lost Clowney, they lost Honey Badger. So they've kind of lost a few pieces that they had last year that made them so tough to deal with. But it's still a formidable defense we're going to see. Justin Reed, I think, is very good safety that they've got. Jonathan Joseph is a solid at cornerback. And then you have the Romeo Crennel factor. I think what you'll see, Crennel, he runs a hybrid scheme, and he's very unpredictable. He's going to do a lot of exotic blitzes, type overload, type blitzes, get one-on-one matchups for Watt and guys like that. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how the offense responds to this. I think the chess match between Norv Turner and Romeo Crennel is something to look out for.
This is going to be interesting. It's funny you mentioned that this could be a trap game. I could see that. Seriously. I mean, if you're just going off the numbers, the statistics, the Texans are a quote unquote mediocre team, but you see them on the field, you actually look at the players and the mismatches and the problems they can pose. This could be a tight game. It really could.
Yeah, you look at their schedule. They lost by a field goal to the Saints, a fully healthy Saints team in Week 1. So 2-1, they could easily be 3-0 right now. So I mean, I think this team, has the ability to win the AFC South this year. So I hope the trap game is a team that's going to sneak up on you and bite you when you least expect it. I think the Panthers are going to come ready and prepared to get the best shot that this team's going to give them this week.
That'd be nice. Yeah, Monty, you was going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to go off of what Will said about. I just don't think that Houston gets the media credit that it actually should, because they are a very good team. They're a very young team, and again, you have a very good quarterback back there behind a very good defense, and I feel like if they can run the ball with Deshaun Watson and then add arguably the best receiver in football, they have a very good team and that, I think that's kind of why I say a trap game, just because I think we so often we as fans get caught up in the big names, if they don't have, they lost to Javion Clowney, they lost to Honey Badger. So, of course, they don't know a lot. We don't know a lot of the bigger names on that defense. So we automatically assume that defense isn't as good as it was the year before. And where that has some truth to it, I still believe that Houston is going to be a very good team. And like Will said, I think I agree with Will. I think they can actually win their division. I think, especially with luck out, I think that's the team, in my opinion, that's the team to win the AFC South. So it's going to be a good battle this week, man. And so I want to see how we respond on both offense and defense this week.
Now, if this is kind of off topic, then it's kind of not. Jacoby's balling. I'm going to tell you that right now. Jacoby is balling. We'll see them later on in the year, but that Jacoby's balling. They worry me. Just saying. But anyway, Kevin and Larry, you have anything else to add about the upcoming game?
As far as any additional comments about the upcoming game, I'm just ready for something that has seemed to avoid our franchise to, start taking place, and that's the word consistency. This would be the perfect opportunity to restore order. We lost our first 2 games at home, 2 games in 5 days.
Yeah.
And we can come back to Bank of America 2-2. I think that will go a long way to show the type of resolve that this team has. Now, as far as the Houston Texans go, they're definitely not someone to be taken lightly. So me having, I guess, somewhat of enthusiasm about our team doing good against them is not a disrespect to them, more so a belief that what we can do when we're clicking. I definitely look forward to seeing the adjustments that Ron Rivera makes in game, him and the coaching staff, because I think that was one of the big things that led to us having a dominant second half against Arizona. I know we're talking about Houston, but fellas, was y'all aware that in the fourth quarter, Arizona had negative 14 yards for the fourth quarter?
Damn.
Talk about adjustments. That's how good this team can be when they're focused. And I just want to see Carolina Panther football played again for 4 quarters. Yeah, the other team is going to make plays. Yeah, we're going to have some mistakes here and there, but hopefully we can keep them to a minimum. We're on the road, us against the world mentality. I just want to see this team show signs that with the talent that we have on this roster that we can finally produce consistency and go down here, punch these Texans in the face, snatch that dub off their cowboy boots and bring that dub on back here to Charlotte. And so we can enjoy it and get ready for the following week. So, yeah, we definitely got our work cut out for us, but if consistency is something that we're about to display, I'm confident in this team being able to bring another win back in the column for us on Sunday.
Yeah, my best friend's a diehard Titan fan, and when it comes to, his division rivals, the team he worries about most is Houston. So they're definitely not a team we need to sleep on at all. I just think that, like I always say, I know I sound like a broken record, guys, but listen, the game starts in the trenches. If you have a deficiency on either side of the ball in the trenches, you're going to have some problems with your record. And they've done nothing to improve their offensive line. So we have to get after the quarterback. I know he's mobile. I know he's athletic. But guys have shown that they're able to contain. Outside of Haynes, if you put Miller, Burns, where's Bruce Irvin at? Is he going to get healthy? Is he going to be a factor for us coming up?
Nope.
Nope.
He's done with. But either way, we got a lot of young guys. We got a lot of athleticism on the edge. Like I said, McCoy's been dominant on the interior all year long. This should be a game we should win strictly off us winning the battle in the trenches.
Yeah, one thing to mention about the Texans is Lamar Miller got hurt. Their leading rusher from last year got hurt in the offseason, so they did pick up Duke Johnson from the Browns to kind of replace him. And guess who they brought in this week? Good old C.J. Anderson. They brought in for a workout. So that just tells me their running game struggling a bit. They're looking for more production there. So I think
chicken biscuit.
With that being said, it's going to be more predictable. So you'll have some opportunities to, get after Deshaun Watson since they're, starving for that running game right now.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all gonna put some respect on old man Irvin name, just brushing them off like that. Them hamstrings are tricky.
Yeah, they are.
They're annoying. They're annoying as heck. I wasn't even trying to be funny, but he's a guy I expect to have an impact for us. So I'm hungry for him to get back. Honestly, you added him to that rotation. You look at a nasty front. I'm telling you, he's going to dip into somebody's snaps. But thus far, Miller, Burns, those young guys have been doing the damn thing. And Haynes has too. He's been getting after the quarterback. My only issue with him this past week was the fact that he could not contain the read option. He really struggled with it. So when it came down to me grading my players, I had a little bit of issue with Haynes, but still has a lot of upside. I still see him a part of our immediate future. He still has an impact, but Bruce Irvin has some too, and guys kind of written him off, just like you said, and they forgot about him, but he has a skill set that we could definitely utilize.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And to back up what Will was saying earlier, they also the running back that used to be with the 49ers, Hyde, I believe that's their
Carlos?
That's also who they got. Was it Carlos Hyde?
I think so.
Yeah, Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, he's a very, very, very physical running back, man. When he's healthy, he's a hard guy to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's definitely someone that's going to make the pads clap when you meet him in the presence. But, I don't know if you guys had a chance to listen to that piece by Shaq Thompson that I posted prior to us recording tonight. But, that's someone that's been playing with a lot of confidence and it's spilling over. I know that I saw that where Luke Kuechly is currently leading the NFL in tackles, I believe. But Shaq Thompson has been putting in work, and I definitely like the fact that he's about showing, hey, I waited my turn, my time is now. I really haven't seen anything bad on a consistent level with him. I mean, I know every player gonna have plays that's not as good as they need to be, but with him and Kuechly out there, our reputation for strong linebacker play continues. It's not all about Kuechly now. So I definitely think that we got the players needed to neutralize. And, we didn't even mention the fact that Kawan Short didn't even play, and we had that type of production, as far as getting to the quarterback. So when this clip is fully loaded, I'm talking about Short, Irvin, you're talking about we can just rotate a variety of, pass rushing, linemen and edge players that will continuously harass opposing offenses. So, Larry, your prediction of 70 sacks is really not far-fetched with if everything clicks. So I definitely think that old man Irvin is gonna when he does make his return, he's gonna remind us why he's been an impact player for these last several years. So yeah, respect the old man. He gonna come through when we need him the most.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing this week, really focusing on the guys that are healthy right now, it's going to be impacting this Sunday. We're going to get to see how we look against a team I think will be in the playoffs. So it's kind of like that measuring stick that you want to see. Where do we stand? Are we a playoff team with Kyle Allen at the quarterback, or are we a little bit behind? We saw how we stacked up against the Rams, the defending NFC champions, and they're undefeated right now. We only lost to them by 3 points. I mean, Tampa was a close game. I think they're a team that can get on and off and get hot. But once again, we got a road game against a team I think will be in the playoffs. So I think just that alone should excite you about this week to see, what type of team do we have this week? Put up or shut up.
That's a great way to wrap it up, man. Put up or shut up. Real talk. Take nothing for granted. Execute. Get it done. We don't turn over the football, folks. We're going to win this game. If we get into a turnover contest with somebody as elusive and unpredictable as Watson, we could be shooting ourselves in the foot. So put up or shut up. Absolutely. Well, I love that. That's real. Oh, so any remarks? You guys have anything? Any news that we didn't cover dealing with the Panthers?
If anybody didn't know, we're currently ranked in the top 5 as far as sacks go. So everything we've expected from this defensive line, even though you haven't had the numbers from the interior defensive line, collectively we're getting the job done so far.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned where we're ranked on defense. I was literally just about to say, guys, let's keep in mind we're a couple of pieces, a couple of great plays away from, or a couple of a couple of missed opportunities stolen from Ron Rivera from being a 3-0 team. Let's all remember that. I think we put up 27 against the defending NFC champions. We lost at the last second to a division rival, and then we put 38 up on the worst defense in NFL. So I think offensively, guys, we're there. If Kyle Allen, if we can protect Kyle Allen and Kyle Allen can repeat his performance from last week, we're going to be a scary team, Panther fans. So, let's rally behind our quarterback. QB1's not playing, and it looks like he's going to be out for an extended period of time. So,
well said, sir. Well said. I think Kyle's going to show his ass. That's what I think. North's going to cook up something nice. But, never take anything for granted. I learned that a long time ago. Remember when we had Testaverde? Say no more.
Somebody said Matt Moore.
No.
Matt Moore came out on fire in one of those last few games for us.
He did, though. He did, though, for real. I was like, dang, Matt can play. Oh, shit. Never mind. Oh, man. Whew. I really think some of these fans don't realize the absolute torture a lot of Panther fans have gone through since the the late 90s, early 2000s, before the 03 season and after the 03. Was it? Oh man, was it 2009, 2010-ish, somewhere in there?
Yeah, 9 and 10. My thing with this team, like I'm gonna say, I'm consistent every week. It's a week by week thing. All you need to worry about this week is the Houston Texans. Eat, drink, sleep, Houston.
That's it. Real talk, man. Real talk. The O-line holds up. We're gonna be just fine, though.
Yeah. So if anyone out there is a Houston, is a Texan fan, I just want to make sure y'all are aware of this. Houston, you about to have a big mother problem.
Kev, I'm gonna tell you what my football coach used to tell me. Hey, you better buckle your chin strap because it's coming.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Real talk.
Houston,
you better tighten that bad boy up.
I better buckle the chin strap because we coming.
It's real.
And in the words of late great Bernie Man, it's gonna be trouble.
Oh man. Well, all right, Panther fans. I believe we're gonna leave it there, and there's nothing else we can do but wait. Wait to see how much of a fool we're gonna act on that field down in Houston. Oh man, it's gonna be something. It's going to be something, and I can't express enough how happy I am that we are relatively healthy, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think that's going to help us going forward with this season. So, on behalf of the Four-Man Rush crew and myself, Timmy VO, we'd like to thank you so much for listening to the Four-Man Rush podcast. We got the whole crew tonight: Larry, Will, Monty, and Kevin, and hopefully we can keep this going throughout the season, because nobody's gonna bring it to you like the Four-Man Rush. Tell your friends, tell your family. If you're a Panther fan, you just need to go ahead and start listening. Subscribe to one of the podcast networks that you can find us on, whether it's Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, social media platform, matter of fact, and Podbean, obviously. Also the Four-Man Rush website is full of helpful information and great breakdowns by our writers, Norris and Kevin writing some stuff on there, and Larry, and it's a whole plethora of information on Carolina Panther football that you're not going to get anywhere else, because we break it down by X's and O's, so now you knows. Dig it, man. 1 and 2 Texans. Woo! Here we come. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a great morning, great afternoon, great evening whenever you're listening to this podcast. And as always, keep pounding. I'm just taking time to really let it breathe. So baby, just chill. Yeah. She love it. We out in public and we can just chill with my partners, and we can go back to my crib and just chill out the covers and do we call me and you love. The Four-Man Rush is brought to you by the love and respect of and for the Carolina Panthers and Carolina Panther fans everywhere. Keep pounding. The Four-Man Rush is a non-affiliate of the Carolina Panther organization. All thoughts, assessments, and content of this podcast is directly related to the Four-Man Rush exclusively. Thank you.